autoimmunity. Want to know if anybody has any questions. Trying to figure out what's happening with the TikTok algorithm because it's not showing my videos to anybody and nobody's hardly on the live. So that's kind of odd. But anyway, we're just going to kind of keep rolling along. So I made a video that they didn't show to anybody, but it's talking about high stress and high cortisol and how it triggers autoimmunity and how it can cause leaky gut and it can cause issues with leaky gut and leaky blood-brain barrier and dysregulate the immune system and trigger autoimmunity. So this is an interesting thing that I'm seeing right now with so much stress going on in the world right now. There's a lot of people that are freaking out, upset, stressed, and their autoimmune markers are flaring because high cortisol can really drive autoimmunity. So just wondering if anybody has that situation going on. I feel like that this is a really interesting time where we're trying to get everybody to calm down, but also, there's things happening in the world that people feel like they really need to be engaged with. So it's a little bit of a difficult, needle to thread on how do you protect yourself and protect your health and also watch all the stressful things that are going on in the world, and how are we protecting our adrenal glands? How are we dealing with the stress in the world and the high cortisol and the fight or flight responses that are happening, just popping on the news and popping on TikTok and watching what's happening in the world. So it's tough to deal with high stress events because it can often trigger an autoimmune flare. So it's worrisome when everybody's coming to me and they're having autoimmune flares, but they're also having high cortisol, lots of fight or flight reactions, lots of stress, lots of people that are stressing out right now, not quite sure how to manage their emotions in this whole dynamic of what's happening in the world. So that's been kind of an interesting negotiation. I find that when people are having high cortisol and high fight or flight reactions, their cortisol spiking all through the day. So the cortisol goes up, the adrenaline goes up, the blood sugar goes up all at the same time. And so you have these blood sugar spikes and you have this anxiety and you have this urge to run from the bear, running away and having a fight or flight response. So those types of things can make you gain weight. They can make you not sleep at night. They can make you have leaky gut. They can make a leaky blood-brain barrier. And those things can really drive autoimmune flares. So it's really a difficult time when you are having such high stress all the time. And I feel like right now in social media and what's happening in the world, there's so much anxiety and stress with people. And so I'm seeing autoimmune flares like crazy. So what can we do, right? So I want you to think about if you are under a lot of stress right now and you're feeling like it's driving your autoimmunity, or maybe it's making your immune system weakened so that you have flare-ups of viruses, or you feel like you're just super exhausted. I want you to think about taking it down a little bit. I want you to think about, like, if you often do like a HIIT workout where you're really driving hard, you do Orange Theory, or you do something where you're really pushing yourself, that you really put that aside for a minute and start thinking about, like, does it make sense for if you are in a high stress situation and your cortisol is running high and you are really super stressed, does it make sense for you to maybe do some yoga? Does it make sense for you to do a walk? Something that's a little slower paced, maybe some Tai Chi, maybe just some stretching, maybe just making sure you prioritize sleep and making sure you prioritize protein. So those are going to be really important things to do if you feel like your cortisol is spiking and you are in a fight or flight response all the time. I want you to prioritize protein. I want you to eat protein every meal. I want you to make sure you're not eating too much sugar. When we get stressed, we tend to crave sugar because it helps to make serotonin in our brain. So we feel better for a minute, right? We eat the cookies, we actually feel better until later when we don't feel better, right? But it's this temporary pacifier for us when we feel stressed. So if you're watching the news and you're watching social media and you feel like you are stressing out and it's creating anxiety for you, I want you to think about really minimizing your exposure if it feels like it's overstimulating. I want you to go take a walk. I want you to do some yoga. I want you to eat some protein. I want you to really be careful and nurture yourself during this time so that we aren't just also driving ourselves into the ground, because sometimes we just think, I gotta go harder, I gotta go harder, I gotta go harder. I've got to really drive myself because I'm really like achieving, or I'm, whatever. Or if you're really stressed about family members, or you're really stressed about the environment or what's happening on social media, what's happening in Minnesota. I mean, I'm not going to get political, but it's really stressful right now for everybody. And that high cortisol, it can really drive our blood sugar up, and it drives our blood pressure up, and it drives our inflammatory markers up, and it makes us run our immune system down, so that then we get the flu, and then we have an autoimmune flare, and then we don't sleep, right? Because we're like processing and thinking and processing and thinking and just trying to think our way out of these really tough situations that are happening right now. So I'm not going to be on this live for a really long time because I really want to go to bed a little early tonight, but I wanted to get on the live because I feel like we're all, in America anyway, feel like we're hitting sort of a stress point. And a lot of people are like really stressed and not knowing what to do. And I want you to really think about being careful about your own self-care. I want you to think about eating protein at meals. I want you to eat veggies at meals. I want you to be a little less sugar, maybe just a little bit of chocolate or something like that, but not going whole hog on pasta and bread and cookies and things like that. Because when we feel stressed, this is what we do, right? I want you to think about doing some meditation. I want you to think about reading a really nice book, or maybe an audiobook in your ears that's like something nice, right? Because we're just like, we're watching the news and we're like, this is freaky, right? So I want you guys to think about just being like, take some magnesium, do some yoga, do some stretching, take a walk, be careful about what you're engaging with, and make sure that if you can, I mean, some things that can really help. If you can put your face in like cold water, you can even kind of like break yourself out of it if you feel like it's really stressful out, or get a massage, or just know that stress response is pretty normal right now. And we're going to be going through this for a little while. So making sure that you're supporting your friends and your family, and just kind of doing what you can, but be really careful about running yourself into the ground. Because if you flare your own immune system up and you have a big flare up, or you're sick, or you have the flu, or whatever, you're not helpful for anybody, right? So be careful not to like go, I'm going to run out of the stress, I'm going to go to Orange Theory, or I'm going to do, hit workouts or something. I mean, this is really a stressful thing that you can't stress yourself more. Okay. I want you to think about just really taking it easy, doing what you can, and really trying to nourish yourself. Maybe can you take vitamin D? Can you find some glutathione? Can you find some, what's really nice for when cortisol goes high is magnesium, of course, but ashwagandha is a really nice herb that will help you to break down your cortisol. And you can take something called phosphatidylserine. It's phosphatidylserine. They call it PS, phosphatidylserine. That's kind of lovely too. And it really, really helps with bringing down your stress levels. So I just, I don't want to be on too long tonight because I want to go to bed a little early because it's been a little stressful day. But I want you guys to think about, how to help each other. And I want you to think about just nourishing yourself. And I'm going to be back on a live tomorrow talking more about autoimmunity. But it's tough for a lot of people that are like on social media right now trying to not say something. Do we say something? What's happening in the world? Do we take sides? Do we talk about it? But I just want you to all really just know that there's a lot of stress going on and you're feeling it in your body, and it can really tank your immune system. Okay. So anyway, you guys take good care. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to go get in the sauna and I'm going to go to bed early, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Okay.